Good morning to you, and good morning to you. A very beautiful day, a fresh day, a new day, brand new things. We start. Wow. Wednesday is here, 22nd of October. A very beautiful morning, we start. After a very tough day yesterday. So, good morning, wherever you're watching this. We back. It is 10:30. I'm waiting for 10:30. So, just waiting the people to join up. Join up the moment you make sure that you join this. Ensure that you click that like button. Ensure that you do that right away. Click that like button. I'm preparing things for you here. Ensure that when you join this, you click that like button right now. Ensure that you click that like button. Ensure that you click that like button right now. Ensure that you click that like button. Ensure that you click that like button right now. Ensure that you do that. Let me switch. All right. Mary, good morning. GPS print, good morning. A beautiful day here. Now, okay, so yesterday was actually very nice because there is a lot of things that really happened yesterday, but I don't want to really talk about that much because that is a very big thing that actually happened yesterday, and I think maybe I don't know. This is crazy, right? We can just call it. I don't know whether we call it crazy things or, but normally I was expecting this to happen. It's only that it happened at the wrong time. That's why you have always to be prepared. I was waiting for these things to happen either today or tomorrow. Then gone big move that was actually happening. You see, this is a big move that actually happened yesterday with the gold. I want to really brief you on this analysis as we proceed to technical analysis and fundamental some news that are really coming out here. I want to brief you on this. Look at this. This is a very big move that happened. So if you go to the 1 hour time frame, you're going to see these crazy things here. 1 hour time frame, you're going to see this big move that actually happened with the gold yesterday. This is big move that actually happened with the gold yesterday. So within just a span of like 4 hours, the market managed to move from 43.72 and moved all the way to 40.82. Do you know how much is that? That is 300 big move. And overnight we end the market actually dropping to 4,000. Do you know how much is that? That is a very big one. That has actually never happened in the history. Like if you go to check on this move, it has actually have to happen like 3 days straight. But for it to happen within those small hours, like just a few minutes for this market to do all that stuff, then that is crazy. And that is what we're talking about here. Now, I was expecting that this market actually to just come around 41 here, but we see it actually dropped even $100, very big more. apart from just this. But I think still we are going to 42 for this gold again. But there's a problem here. I want to tell you the reason we really experienced this market dropping all the way to that zone here. Remember, we talked about when we were using volumes, we talked about these areas, and these are some of the areas that are never spotted to buy. So if probably we had planned to buy across this area, that could actually be dangerous, very dangerous here. And you can see now we have at least one volume happening across this region that we have here. So which means low volume don't here, that is what we call don't buy here. So if I was to analyze this at night, don't buy here. I could have actually placed this market as don't buy across this area. So you see now the importance of placing the stop loss. Even if you end use 0.01, even if you end used 0.01 yesterday and you end like $300, that could actually been wiped out with just one position of 0.01. That's how big this market is moving. That's how the volatile gold was. That's how the big move it made. So with that in gravity, just imagine you end $350 and you wake up today, maybe you entered a position yesterday for buy across here, you're expecting the market to break out, but you wake up today realizing that all your $350 was just wiped out, and you maybe think that broker was wrong, probably there was a spike that just happened in a wrong way, but that is definitely what happened yesterday. Even if you end use 0.01, your account could actually have been wiped out. That's how dangerous this market was yesterday, and that is the goal. Now with this big move, we really want to reduce the volatility, and I think one of the things that actually made this market to move all this, if you watch from the previous video that we generated last week, we have been talking about when gold is actually going to be ending all the way to 37, and I think this market is actually going to be ending that way. So if you are probably buying and expecting this market probably to create new high, I think it might not create those highs before we actually now get another before we get to 37. That is on a long-term plan that we may be having with the gold here, because if you look this on the weekly time frame, you realize that this is not really even a big move that was actually happening here. These are the zones that I'm expecting this market to come long term. So I'm still expecting this market to come to this zone here before probably we go to 45 or $5,000 that we can be expecting from this market. That is my goal for this. But with that volatility, that whatever it just meant yesterday, that was a shock, and that's why you have to fear them. I always tell people, use good risk management over them. Yeah. Yesterday was actually, so I don't want really to discuss yesterday about the gold because that move was so big. Now, at the end of this, probably next week, I really don't like talking about long term in terms of the gold, because gold can achieve that within. You have seen that it can actually achieve that. Gold can actually move from 41.37 and move to 3,700 within that time frame. And we talked about short. That is what I want to repeat again. You see, I told you that short don't last long. And that you see the market actually touched 4,000 and it is back again, because short don't last long. Even this market that you see actually happening here, the reason so many people like buying is because when they see the market dropping this big, they normally start buying, and that is what we see from this market. Even if this market drops to 37 here, you're going to see that not lasting long. That means that the market is actually going to rise fast when this market actually moves to this position here. Now remember, from this point here, all those week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, that was crazy. The market actually pushing every day up, and I think now the last goal that we are going to achieve this is this area that we really have here, possible for this market to achieve all that long now before even we proceed to move all the way downside. So if probably you are planning to buy the market, it's actually going to be more dangerous if you're actually going to keep buying from that, because now if you move to something like a 1 hour time frame, the only position that we can wait for this market to come to is around this area, which is a maximum of 42, around 42 here, the maximum that we can actually wait for this market before we actually even start breaking towards the downside again. That is my expectation in terms of the gold. So those who are planning probably to buy from this market, you can just see how it's really moving right here. The maximum we can expect for this market is here, and then we probably will get for 37 that we have been expecting to get from this market. USD JPY, we're talking about this zone, or now this market has a potential for moving up. Let's talk about that. We end the potential for this market. Look at how it has actually been moving. Even if you move to the AI time frame, like daily time frame, you are going to see the same position that's going to be happening with the market. Look at that trend, and we said after this market feeling this going back all the way, now there's a potential for this market to move all the way up to touch the upper trend, and then we might actually be going back all the way. These are the moves that we're really talking about. So for those, I know the market actually did not really move from yesterday. I don't know why it's actually then gone. So you can think about it like the save happen thing, because the gold did not move. Let's see even for the DXY so that we may understand this. You see, the DXY actually did not even make big moves, right? So the movement of the gold yesterday was actually not doing so much on the gold or the USD dollar, because so many people might think that it's because of the dollar that was making the moves of the gold actually to move, but not correct. But whatever was making on is just number one, this piece. And one of the things that was actually driving the market up is because of save up and thing. Now there's no need for that. And you absolutely know that there's a haste that actually happened in Paris. That's crazy. Might have actually contributed to this as well. That crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy as well. That's crazy as well. So for the USD JPY, what I'm expecting to be getting from here. So I was just showing you that it's not the dollar that was making move, because if it was dollar, we could have actually have seen this market actually, because that could actually been a strength of the dollar. We could have seen this market surging all the way to 153 or 154, but that did not really happen. So that's why you see this market. So it's just a safe haven thing that was actually driving this market towards the downside, and whatever was just driving that market. Now look at this. This is USD JPY, and I was expecting this market, so you can expect a low of this. So if in case you get around 150, 400, 300, that is still going to be a very good zone to buy from this market still, as we are going to be ending towards the upper side, because already we have completed this journey of 149,400. But when we will be touching this point, of course, we are going to try and find an entry that is going to shoot this market towards downside again. But for now, remember, when you just get a slight move of 300 here or 600, 500 below this, around here, which is actually 500 or below, then we're actually going to have another entry that is going to be lasting all the way to 153, almost 154. Almost 154. That is the entry that we are going to be having from this market. That is in terms of the USD JPY. Okay, for the gold traders, just hold a little bit, because if you be going in, that's going to be something else. That won't be something else. For those who normally trend on a crypto side, November is another month because we are 8 days to that. November is the one of the months that we normally experience the market trying to create new high, where we normally experience the all times high, the market creating all times high. That is November. There are lots of things that is happening on the November 22nd. Probably I might be preparing a note for the crypto and probably create that as a video and post on this channel, because that is a different, because I understand that I have so many people around this area, because there was time I was teaching so much on the crypto side. And yeah, that is one thing that you really have to understand this. But remember, I also advised my student who normally and followed me that every time you make profit, make sure that you invest some in cryptocurrency. Put some money here, profit, invest and put money. Go and buy some XRP, buy XLM, buys not meme coins though, but just go and buy some Solana, Adai, some of those, and just hold, and let that be like some live investment that you are really making from the market, because you really don't know. Those things can shoot 100x, can shoot 10x, and the next time you realize you are $1,000 actually has turned to $10,000, $20 million Kenya shillings. If you're in Kenya, you are 100k has turned to 20 million. That is a life-changing opportunity. So it's always good to invest in digital currencies as well. But in terms of trading, that will actually scare you. That will kill you definitely within the time that you blow your account, because of what normally happens in the cryptocurrency. That is what we really have to understand. So I'm waiting for USD JPY to fall and then we start buying from that. We talked about the relationship between USD JPY, and we realized that the relationship now is not like, is around 60, which, or maybe 50. So the correlation between that, so we cannot really buy and sell, buy USD JPY and the sell USD JPY they signed, because of what normally happens in this market. It's not really fair at all. It's not really fair at all. So look at that. This is what we are talking about, this line and the first breakout here, this market touching this region here. So a possibility for another, this market trying to shoot on higher. Okay, so this market is trying to move. This is daily time frame. Probably we might go to the lowest time frame. So this is for USD. This is Euro USD. I mean, this is Euro USD traders. So this is a market that is moving down like that. Just look at that and trying to break out this. But you realize that anytime you get this market having a big breakout just like that, then we normally wait for this market at least to fail at least 50% of that, and then the market normally shoot on high. You can see this region is very important for this market, as you can see. Now a possibility for the people who are going to be buying from this market is actually going to probably end all the way out like that. So that is the terms of the Euro USD. It's the Euro USD. Let me check something else for you. I wanted to analyze also the let's check this. Euro USD is JPY. Why is it? USD JPY and the Euro USD. You can see the relationship here should be negative 70, but the relationship here is tight. USD JPY with the Euro USD just 70, but should be actually be around 75. Yeah, so anytime probably you're buying Euro USD and JPY, that should be different, like one moving up, another moving down, but not that 100%, but you see that's relationship is not 100%, but anytime probably you can see positive correlationship with USD JPY and Euro JPY. I think that is because the JPY is the quote currency here. I want to see the negative correlation that is negative. I want to see negative correlation that is above 70. Do we really have that one? Which one currencies? Euro USD. This is no, the relationship is different. USD CAD and GBP USD. Yeah, look at that. I think the difference here is because the US dollar is on the quote and also on the other side. I think that makes the difference. Yeah, so that is what I'm expecting from this market. This currency to just move on the upper side here. For USD JPY to just drop a little bit before we move on the other side. Probably when this market will be touching this 1666, that is the USD JPY will be touching where we are actually going to be buying from this market. Probably now we can start now comparing both of them and see what this is actually going to be taking us. Okay, that is going to be important as well. Now today being on Thursday, on Wednesday, 9 a.m. when we got GBP CPI and it was negative that way. So remember tomorrow Friday we have the CPI, and I think I'll be live at that time. We have the CPI here. We have the CPI delta that will be expecting 3:30 p.m. on the side of the gold, and as well flash manufacturing, that is PMI for the GBP will be checking on GBP JPY. But remember, this is very important as well. This is going to move the market. That is between 3:30 p.m. and 4:45 p.m. These two news are major, very important. I don't want to tell you what that means and how it's going to move the market. These things I have explained them like since 2020. Yeah, like 5 years ago. So you should actually have known what the meaning of this and how they can just move the market. All right, so that is my expectations. But now we are going to pause on the gold because of how it's just making these crazy moves. Because anytime now this market is making this crazy move, so we just give it time and see what we're going to be getting from this market. Now, because so what we are going to expect from this market is, because since we have the CPI tomorrow, I think now from tomorrow morning you're going to see the market being slow, because so many traders normally halt the positions or halt trending until the top hour to avoid like being liquidated, to avoid a lot of volatility at that time, especially for those who normally trend gold. They normally avoid that. So that is what is making this. I'll be coming with a lot of news, what actually happened yesterday, but we'll be talking about that, and because there's a lot of information as well from that, but I've not really done with the analysis. I'll be coming live here again so that we can probably discuss even more about that story here. So my focus now is on USD JPY, Euro USD, and yeah, so definitely when I analyze like Euro USD or USD JPY, For example, on GBP, JPY, the correlationship is like 90%. So the currency has have 90%. I might split the entries, and I have different entries that are going to be good. I wanted this to be very fast, unless maybe anyone asks question, because I want to close this. Just see you later when the market moves. All right. Yes. So we are checking between. We have checked Euro USD, that is being number one, and as well we have checked USD JPY, right? So I'm just here trying to check my own analysis. The DOM. Let me leave you with this and then give you this. Euro USD JPY. I want to use the other screen. So if you wanted to compare the comparison that we were talking about here between the movement of Euro USD, so it's very easy. So we compare it here. So let's see, we earned euro USD. Let's see. Yeah, of course you can see now the movement. This is moving up from right here, and you can see the euro USD is dropping while the other one is actually, but that is not like 100%. That is what you have to understand, a negative correlation, but not like 100%. So that is why you see now your USD is now trying to fall from this point here, and I think we have already highlighted the place that we might be waiting for USD to come to. Let me just undo. Yeah, so I'm going to like do a proper and deep analysis on my own, that is including that analysis for these currencies deeply, but that is what I expect generally, and in an overview signed, that is what I expect for that USD JPY. USD, the only place I think it can come to 150 400, 151 400, and then we jump up, and that is actually going to trend negative correlation with euro USD. That is what you are going to be having from this market. For the gold side, we are going to hold a little bit, because you can see the gold right now is like becoming crazy. It's just the same move. You see, it's like this move actually came late after what actually happened to cryptocurrency last week, where actually gold and falling, and so many people lost money in that. That is the same thing that you see actually happened to this price of the gold. I don't understand why the market did not move together when the crypto actually was crashing that time. I don't really know why gold did not actually move the same, because somehow it can tend to move, because in other ones crypto and gold can actually be safe haven in one way or the other, because so many people are really placing the digital currencies, crypto, some coins are actually even gold in nature, like just like that. You can actually move your asset like that. For example, what we call the stable coins, if you have, for example, USDT, you have USDC, that is actually a stable coin, because it's actually not going to make you lose money, or maybe the money can actually be stagnant with that. For the Bitcoin, so many people move it with the investment, like they can put their money there and just wait all those things to just happen. But with this, I really want to analyze this deeply on data, and that's why I need to take time and just put the books in record. But that was straight. That is of course what you can expect from USD JPY and Euro USD. You can actually move to GBP JPY. I don't want to check on like USD card. I don't want to check so many currencies, but I'm planning that we may actually be analyzing, because I think so many people are, like yesterday they were asking me about USD JPY. I want to be checking actually on the currencies, like we can have six of them. I have full data, but make sure that you join live in time. You make sure that you join live in time, so that we can analyze and give you the predictions for all those currencies. And number one, we can start on Monday. Monday, we are going to analyze the market where it is possible to move throughout the week, so that you understand. For example, yesterday what we were talking about is the goal to move to 37. That is the long-term goal that you have to understand. The goal of that week, the market to have that big move. And then we can now start analyzing the daily analysis, where we might be targeting for the currencies and for the commodities. That is why we are going to be moving this, and you're not really going to get lost on the way. So Monday analysis is very important, and also you make sure that you join very early in the morning, so that we can start this together. Meanwhile, I'm into deep analysis for these currencies. I'm writing notes. So yesterday I was not around. For those I left everything just running, I just came and want to really have some deep analysis for this market, but I want to do it out of this because I'll be using some monitors here. So but tomorrow again I'll give you the information, or I can just come back live again any moment from now. That's why there are some people who have turned the notification bell, because I realize there are sometimes I can just come randomly live and some people really join quickly because they have turned notification bell on this live. Sometimes when we are closing trains and they can just join this live, so that is interesting. If you have not done that, make sure that you subscribe, turn on notification bell, that anytime I come back live here we can analyze the market together, probably close the position where they opened, probably open new position, or maybe change what we discussed earlier. That is important thing to tell. So I'm going to analyze this and I will give you more of the information later. I'm going to analyze that is sentiment number one, but that is not really important because once I get to the database so well, then there's nothing that is actually going to like give us index right here. So I'm going to take the basics of that, fundamentals as well, going to put them all in place. I have the fundamentals for this week, but they play for the USD JPY because you can see it is stacked from yesterday. So what is going on? But number one, you understand gold did not move because of dollar. Gold did not move because of dollar. Number one, we have been waiting for sell, and just because now there is space and there is actually no good reason to keep buying gold right now, because you know there is no safe haven from what now. Yeah, this piece, there's a lot of things, unless maybe other things was about tariff just happens and all those things that are really going to affect the terms of the dollar. But you see, gold can actually be affected by its own, just like the crypto eyes crashed last week. So I've been giving you more of this accurate information next hour, like next few hours. But you see, we expect prices to fall for the USD JPY probably below 151, 300, 400. Then we can buy to the top. So if you see these prices coming to this area here around 151, 300, ensure that you buy and target on the other 153, almost 153, 153. Yeah, target 153. Okay, use good stop loss. That is going to be very important as well. I'm done here, so thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe and follow me on all social media platform at Dan Tech, and I will see you later during this day.